Kajeno, it's all about the fathers as we set examples for Bana Barona and then taking care of baby's pacifier. We have our basic tips for Bontate and we also learn about conditions in baby's health A to Z. And welcome to Raising Babies 101 mo SABC 2. Your ancestors can be a source of inspiration, help and protection, or a source of trouble, chaos, and obstruction in your life. It's all up to you. Our opening topic, Kione Tabaena. With us, mo studio Baba Qhunzulini Sithole, who is a cultural expert, Gogo Themba Dudeni, a traditional healer, and Thembelani Lephotho, clinical psychologist. They will give us some insights on this particular topic. And a big warm welcome to my studio audience. Dumela. Let me start with you. How do you specifically ka role and importance ya ntate montlu o molelape?
Ubaba ubaluleke kakhulu ekhaya kakhulukazi ekuthini kwamele anakekele umndeni wakhe and umndeni wakhe kwamele ufundile kuye ukuthi ekhaya sikhula ngalendlela sihamba ngalendlela nasemasikweni konke ngokulandelana ke ngoba uye kuphela umuntu ongazi ukuthi la ekhaya sihamba ngayiphi indlela. Yebo.
Usitholeke lo uJob uMatshana umthembu uGubaza umsongo nzimba ibeke ekhanda amagwala ambaleke umnqikazi kakhe belieutenant umnyama singamakakazana mendubala ngikwaze kwalona iqala lapha indaba ukuthi uzazi ukuthi ungubani njengoba eseshilo uMakhosi eduze kwami ubaba uyena insika yekhaya usho ukuthi nayi insika yekhaya uyena umuntu okufuneka anikeze indlela la ekhaya ngoba umama nayifika ezogana la ekhaya fika etholela ekhaya uyo ubaba onikeza indlela ukuthi uphilwa kanjani la umthetho wala ekhaya nezingane nayizalwa isifika la ekhaya uyena okwazi ukuthi mntanami mina ngusibanibani ubaba wami usibanibani umkhulu wakho usibanibani injalo le kusho ukuthi iya ngokuya kuhle kwamagagaso olwandle iya kusho ukuthi ilando izibalande bonke emuva kumqoka kakhulu ke lokho mntana sekhaya ngoba iyona ndlela ekwazi ukukuvikela nokukunikeza ukuzazi ukuthi awukwazi ukuphuma nje noma kanjani okanye wenze noma yini empilweni ngoba na ungake uphume eceleni uzobe uwonile ikusasa lakho ngalimosho kokugcina enungasazi ukuthi ungalibuyisa kanjani.
So for you, what is your thoughts kayona taba e?
Well, Carol, kitaba bohlokwa haholo bontate ba buang ka yona. Because if o sheba ho tloa tshimolohong ha modimo ha hlola lefatshe, you know, motho wa pele e modimo a mo bopileng, which was Adam. Ke motho wa monna. And a fuwa all authority over the toka ofel, you know. So mutuamonna from a spiritual perspective, o sebeta as a covering over lelapa la hai. He's the one who gives direction. He's the one who is the head.
All right. Yeah. So if ngwana a sa tsebe ntata hae kapo mo a tswang teng, e am affecta jwang mo bophelong ba hae ha hola?
Imlimaza kakhulu ngoba nangabe ungamazi ubaba wakho kusho ukuthi kufana nokuthi kwawena uzazi ngoba phela ubaba njengoba bengeke ngasho uyena umuntu okufanele akunikeze indlela yokuba ubaba nano izinto efanele usihloniphe uzazi kunenkinga enkulu mntanami ukuthi uzalelwe ngaphandle kwasekhaya akho mama akho baba akho mama akho gogo akho mkhulu bayibona ukuthi lesandla nje basibekwe kanje simele umndeni.
So from a psychological point of view as a clinical psychologist, is there any proof psychologically or scientifically and also what have you seen psychologically for bana and
you know, there's no scientific evidence saying, you know, e bontshang hore dintho tsa culture di ka mo affecta ngwana later on a sa itsebe. Ke issues tse loreng di batla di ba bohlokwa haholo when it comes to an individual, if we believer, like in cultural things, you know, which, however, I mean, there's always that stereotype, thing, like within the societies, where you find it's always believed to make a good parental figure, you know. But however, we have seen over time, you know, as things evolved, that they can actually play a significant role.
What is the importance of ngwana a connect le ancestors tsa hae le badimo ba hae? What is the importance yana ntwe?
Baluleke kakhulu lokho ukuthi umntwana a connecte nedlozi lakhe. Baluleke kakhulu ngoba egcineni abantwana bagcina sebaba imidlwembe. Ingoba nako abamenzelanga okumele bamenzele kwana ekhaya kubo.
What do you feel gore ntate a tseba gore o tlo ba ntate? What should he do in preparation for your journey ya fatherhood?
I think, like I had said, you know, the most important things, Carol, lerato ka muntu, making sure that the environment is conducive enough for bana. There's a difference between a father and a man. There's a difference between a father and a husband. So, are you ready for the step from being a husband to someone and being a father to someone?
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Some very interesting viewpoints. Now we're going to change the subject again because it's time for You Decide. Now, I don't know how much you know Gadi role tsa gago as motswadi le gore between mama le papa who's to do what when it comes to baby's care. But teng ke ba di experts tsa rona. Mara before ha re tswele ka fontle re utlwe gore le nagana eng ka taba e.
When raising a child, there's no responsibility that is for the father or for the mother. We must all help each other to raise a child.
Awesithi kuyenzeka ke mhlambe ke umama mhlambe akekho uphumile angijabona. Ubaba mhlawumbe uhambile uyokwenza shopping usele nengane ingane sekuyenzeka mhlawumbe ukuthi iyayimoshela ke mhlawumbe sekumele ukuthi ithole usizo yabona kumele ukuthi ingane izilinda umama ukhona ubaba cha leyo ke akuvumelani nayo
Masiraise umntwana ufuneka ubaba nomama both parents 1 2 but umntwana ufuna umama especially because umama angeke alahle umntwana wakhe
mhlambe ingane encelayo yabona mhlambe sasencane mangobaba ngeke ngincelise ingane yabo kumele ukuthi umama ehambe seyincelisile ingane ngijabona mhlambe ke ngobaba uyazi nomama ukuthi angikwazi ukufunza ingane yabona kumele ehambe seyidlisile seyifunzile si-right ngijabona sidlile ingane ngaphandle makuthi uyazi ukuthi ayicha ngiyakwazi ke nathi singobaba phela siya practice ngijabona noma umama ekhona uthatha ama responsibility ngijabona so lethu uzokwazi ukuthi noma engekho umama ungabhayizise ingane igcine manje yabona isigaxela manje kodwa ukhona ngijabona.
Some very interesting viewpoints there. I'm joined by Thembelani Lephotho, a social commentator and a hands-on dad. Welcome, Thembelani, to the table.
Hello.
Yano, ke batla go itse from you as a hands-on dad, gore how important for wena ke di gender roles, gore papa o etsa so, mama o etsa so?
No, they're not that important actually. What's important is that umzali makabe khona all the time. It doesn't matter whether kumzali ongumama or kumzali ongutata. But umzali makabe umzali at all times.
And specific to wena as a dad, go na le dilo tse o di etsang because wa itse gore o papa you have to do certain things, kapo it doesn't really phase you. Ka re wa itse gore some people believe gore papa tshwentse at least the bread, tlisa tšhelete gae. Do you have any strict things about gender role ya papa?
Well, not really, because umama naye at the same time brings home the bread. Umama mdana uyasebenza ndiyasebenza. My 4-year-old daughter, for example, was 2 days old when I learned to change a nappy. Because someone has to change the nappy. We can't wait for a mama.
Baba.
Yazi ngesikhathi sethu besisebenza sonke ekhaya mhlambe siyolima emasimini. Sibuya nokudla mhlambe mina ngiyozingela nenyamazana. Ngaphambili umuntu bengavuka ekseni ayosebenza. Ngoba ephoqelelekile ukuthi sisoxoxa ubamba istimela uyosebenza ngoba wawungekho umsebenzi yayingekho lento yemali ukuthi uzohamba uyosebenza khona uzothenga ukudla ukubeka etafuleni okufunekayo ukuthi sikubheke ngalokhu umhlaba esesiphila kuwo wokugqilazeka ngokomqondo nangokuphila asaphili njengendlela owafuneka siyiphile kuyayenza kakhulu ingqondo sobabili sivalelela kuzofanele abantu bengaboni nimlekelela umama lapha.
How does it affect Bana if the roles are changed? For example, instead of Ntate Abe, the one to go out, Ntate can stay at home dad. Mama's the one working until late because she's doing well in her job and her career. How does that affect Bana, the change in the gender roles? Because Bana, obviously, who have traditional homes, Ntate works hard, mom stays at home. How does it affect one?
Well, I don't think it affect her as such, you know, because now what matters the most, more labe, is if you instill the principles steady sharp mobane, you know, I mean, then bahula bale they know what's right and what's wrong. Their moral reasoning develops based on the way they behave and kate mohai. But hore kimang asebetsang kimang apehang and all that, I don't think it actually makes a difference, you know. But instead, what happens is it teaches the other one who atlohula in a society with stereotypes story. You only go as far as that, you know. Abe responsible, Liliana. But my father was able to do 1, 2, and 3, and my mother was able to provide. I'd say. So it means, Linda, I can actually take that role and change the society and provide for my family in the future.
Tulan, what do you mean?
Hundreds. And for me, like, more than anything, it's about teaching your kids that whatever is possible, if it's possible, then they can do it.
Akusayi ngokuthi ubaba kufanele enzeni umama engenzini. Kuya ekutheni nanihleli manje la egqilazekeni kufana nokuthi sisejele. Bese sibheka ukuthi hey mama wengane singenzani ukuze siphile la. Yabona? Sekufuneka impilo manje ithathwe ngenye indlela. Kodwa lokho akusho ukuthi musana ukuzazi ukuthi ngobani imithetho yenu ihamba phi ikuphi okufanele kwenziwe ngokomthetho wenu nina njengama-Afrika njengabantu abansundu ningabe seniphuma kwi-direction kakhulu senilahleka fanele sizazi asikwenzini konke lokho nina ama-Afrika amahle kodwa sibe sikwenza ukwazi ukuthi lokho kuze kube kanje kungani bese singavumelani nento ezobe sisixova isisale iphinde isisele.
Tulani?
Listen, like we need to know who we are. But what I find most of the time is that people will quickly go to, this is what it used to be back in the day. They only use that when it suits them.
Okay.
When it doesn't, then they want to change with times.
All right. We have to wrap it up.
Say Africa, you do what the Africans do.
There we go.
Say India, you do what the Indians do. So asingalahlekini yethu abanye abantu bebengalahlekanga noma bela eAfrica basabambisa kubo babuya naso le basivala amehlo basibuka ngamehla amancane. Come on.
Come on.
Okay, but
come on. Hey, this has been the hottest you decide of all time. Okay, I really enjoyed the engaging. You're passionate about how you feel, and this is why we call segment Ena You Decide, because at the end of the day, all right, so thank you so much, gentlemen. Even though we don't agree, that's the point of You Decide. So, gender roles, must mommy be mommy, daddy be mommy, yes or no?
Not all the time.
Yes or no?
Not all the time, like Achu.
Yes or no?
Mama, Baba.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
No.
No. All right, so I'll say cool out the fire. We continue. Hubua libontate. And welcome back to Raising Babies 101. And it's all about tips for lona bontate ko gae. So that's what today's Easy Peasy is all about. I am joined in studio now by hands-on dads, Paseka Mulelengwani and Thulani Ceki. So welcome, dads.
Thank you, thank you.
What we love about the show is we're helping moms and dads get around being parents. But today, specifically, we're focusing on daddies. Now, you're both hands-on dads. Let's start with you, Paseka. You've got your stuff here for preparing bottle, and I see you've got a pacifier. What are the do's and don'ts, and what are you showing us here?
One of the mistakes I used to do when I was a new dad, I used to take the pacifier, lick it, and put it in my daughter's mouth, and I found out that is not the right way to do it.
Okay.
Apparently, I've got germs. So the right way to do it is you have your little bowl, and then you take the pacifier, you put it in the bowl, and you put hot water. And once you've done that, if you don't have the sterilizers, a normal everyday salt can help, yeah. Because it's your child, you can be generous with the salt.
Just put as much.
Stir it, baby, just for the salt to dilute. Well, it's my own little thing. And then once that is done, you just simply take it by the handle. If you don't have to put it in the baby's mouth, immediately put it in its little socket.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice tip, Daddy.
Okay, this is the number one. My bottle is already sterilized, guys. And my hot water is here. And I'll pour it to the 275 ml. It's written on the package. If you don't know, just read the package. There's our milk there. Let's open our milk.
This is your formula?
Yes, your formula milk there. Must level it to make sure that you are consistent in terms of sizing it. And then you
pour as the instructions.
As per the instruction.
Sometimes bondade they tend to put less because banagana hore ba save lebese.
Chebo, ha ba tlameha ho etsa eo. E makgabunyana bona ao. Don't do less is more. Just read the instruction. And then it's easy peasy. Easy peasy,
that's why we call the segment easy peasy. Thulani, I see you've got baby Lema Leiri. Tell us the do's and don'ts.
Hey, Sis Carol. Like, you cannot run away from Uchinjama napkin. Like, it's part of being a parent.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the first things I learned, because I thought, oh, well, easy, it's like changing a tire.
Yeah.
Different to changing a tire. Because I also change a tire, uhlambe izandla afterwards. One of the first things you have to do here, funeka uhlambe izandla, because yonke le ndawo uphetha like sensitive le ndawo usebenzisa ngayo.
So you've got your sterilizer.
Yeah, funeka like uhlambe izandla or uhlambe izandla tepeni, like depends ba unandoni na.
Okay.
And always make sure ba yonke into ozoyinida ilapha close kuwe.
Before
uqala, yeah, because
I agree.
Umntana kufuneka abone upanika. The minute upanika, uzopanika. Then it's a big problem.
100%.
Yeah. So, xa ukhulula eli likuye napkin already, napkin already funeka lisoko lilapha ecangwa kwakho.
Okay.
Then so uyalikhulula, uyalibeka, and then before ufake napkin again, uyaqala uyamsula. Sula konke ubumanzi, and usula from a front to a back.
Okay, for boys and girls.
For boys and girls,
yeah.
Because akwazi ususe back usise front.
Yeah, bacteria.
Yeah. So uyamsula, and then the other thing endifundileyo is uba iyanceda ilantuka as wipes, because umzekelo ungathi ubusy uyatshintsha asikaphinda afuna uchama again.
Yes.
So xa zikufuphi ezi wipes uyakwazi nje uvela uyigibisela iwipe phaa ivala yonke into exesha ubusy.
My favorite tip.
Yeah. And then
Have you ever done a towel nappy before?
It was done on me.
Good answer.
No. Okay. The other thing is always make sure ba ilanduka umntana uyamoisturize. Xa usugqibile usula yonke, and then usathatha ilanduka petroleum jelly xa ungenayo ezi cough moisturize. And then when the show ba uyamthambisa the whole time.
All right. What other tips do you have for dads at home?
Learn as early as possible to change a nappy. Because you never know when you're going to be left with the baby.
Yeah. And what would you say are the basics that a dad should know?
Know your child. Play with them.
Know how to make these things.
Know how to make these things.
Yeah.
As he said, because you don't know when they're going to leave you alone with them. Yes.
All right. Any other nice tips you can throw
and
out?
Do not look like you're panicking. Because they can smell it. Yeah.
They can smell it.
Oh, they're dangerous, these little ones.
I love that. Well, carry on being hands-on dads. We love it. Thanks for coming through More Raising Babies 101.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you. Well, from changing nappies for daddies to making bottles, well, Daddy, you could be lucky because coming up next is our baby shower. Okay, viewers, as we all know, parenting can be very, very costly. To make life a little easier for you, our baby shower segment is to shower you with gifts. This week, we have a baby hamper to give away. All you need to do is answer yes or no to one simple question correctly. Does PMTCT prevent HIV transmission to babies during pregnancy? To enter this competition, answer yes or no on our social media platforms. Answer correctly, and one lucky viewer will be randomly selected to win this baby hamper, valued at over 2,500 Rand. The winner will be announced on our social media. Morago ga dipapatso, we're still with our dads, Bakajenu, as we try to answer our big question. Kia le amogela gape to every caring mom and dad's favorite show, Raising Babies 101. Here is something for the fathers. It's time for the big question.
Hi, Raising Babies. My name is Tepiso. Ke khopela le nthushe ke na le bana mo a ke na nako ya go fumana gore nka dira jwang gore ke kopane le bona mohlomong ke ba thushe ka dilo tša sekolo le dilo tše leng gore mohlomong ke dilo tša meetlo tše dintša dilo a ke kgone go dira selo ke motho e leng gore ke dula ke bereka jwale nako ya gore ke fumane gore ke kopane le bona Raising Babies, please ke khopela le nthushe.
Well, let's see if Rikao Tusa, Sam. We're still with hands-on dad Thembelani as well as our psychologist Thembelani, and they are here to help us unpack this for Samusa. So let me start with you, Thembelani. As a hands-on father, how you beat a hands-on father? Ke eng ntho tseo di etsang go etsa a hands-on father?
Yeah, it's very hard to pinpoint what it is exactly. You just be you and you be there. I think that's all you need to do.
And specifically, Mokhesia Sam, what advice do you have for him to become more involved?
You just need to be there, like, all the time. Because the thing is, with kids, we are their superheroes. Like, they look at their fathers, you're the superhero.
Yeah.
And the only way you can think that is if they're there with you.
Well, you know, Carol, the biggest mistake that I think Bontate Babangata are making in nowadays, issue if maybe they have separated Limme Wangwana. The issue of maintenance, they think that's sufficient. And that's not, you know, because there's what we call emotional attachment, physically so, you know, in their lives. I think what he has to do, he has to avail himself more often, you know, like he said, Tulani. If it's sporting activities, koskolong, whatever, being there to support Ngwana, spending time with Ngwana, it actually helps them, like, I mean, to be emotionally stable, you know, and to actually feel safe and secured in their space.
So availability, we tlhaloganya yang as ntate, because we all interpret it differently.
But that's what it is. Availability is availability. Like, if
I'm working hard, so I kill one for 5 minutes, that is my availability.
Yeah, no. You see, kids are smart. Kids can see ingati ubenzeli favor. If your heart and you are not there, if it's just the body, kids will pick that up.
You know, I guess the biggest challenge is when from the start, hangwana abate, also prepare when as an individual, because now it takes you to actually prepare yourself emotionally, be in a sound state of understanding how setse ole monna fela o tlo bantate, and these are the responsibilities so it means, like, emotionally you have to be prepared, you know. You have to be at that point where you understand that it's going to take you compromising, you know. Hore ki weekend titlama olo dula le bagotsi ko kae kae, you know, ki weekend titlama olo shebella game ko kae kae, but now ho so tlo ba le ngwana elo renka weekend o batla go letsa my lady movie, you know. That's the availability, making compromises, you know, knowing that, like, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a part of me. If ngwana o ke sa moruti the principles, if ngwana o ke sa beteng for it, because now remember what happens as well at a psychological level, especially more case in Samusa, where he is the father, a male figure raising a son. You know, ngwana o needs to mirror the male responsibility of the male.
What are they?
Yeah,
because una le basadi ba shebile mara ya mo bolelle John gore responsibility ya hae ke eng as ntate.
Sure. I would actually take it as far as issues that the traditional perspective would put it, you know, as a man will provide. I mean, that's not the issue, you know. Either the mother or the father can provide. But now, the most important thing, I think, which is significant here, is making sure that as the head, yalelapa, you do make provision, yes, you do protect the family. You make sure that banaba they are well taken care of, you know. You make sure banaba they are raised kadi principles teloring. When as a father or as a parent, you hold firm these are the right way to actually grow up.
All right. I'm sure studio audience want to weigh in more now. Your questions.
Bengicela ukubuza ngalabantwana ozothola ukuthi umama nobaba ekhaya babafundisi, but yena all of a sudden masekaqala afika kuleso stage leso ashentshe indlela, yini into engaba yikhosi ukuthi umntana asuke abe njalo?
Okay. Do you want to take this as a psychologist?
Okay. So what happens is, in as much as uba khona empilweni nomntwana, there are other factors like ngaphandle, you know, social factors, issues zabangani, you know, the society where ingane ikhulela khona. Very importantly is to understand ukuthi njengomzali, even though ingane ikhulela ngaphandle, nabangani and all that, you still have a responsibility ukuthi umfundise. And uzobona ama-signs as soon as they start baphuma endleleni. So it's your responsibility njengomzali ukuthi uyibuyisele back ingane uyiqoqe, you know. So ama-causes akhona could be issues like abangani, like I said, you know. If ingane ungayifundisanga kahle, we talk about issues ukuthi like akana backbone and all that, you know. Ufundiswe lokho, but mefika estradeni nabangani, he does this. So irresponsibility yakho njengomzali ukuthi umbuyise futhi.
Some nice advice there. So gentlemen, as we wrap up your next conversation, what can we say are our final tips of advice for Samusa Lengwanahai?
Just enjoy. Like enjoy parenthood, because it's the best gift like that the universe can ever give you. So just make sure you enjoy.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's clear it's all about that song, about the man in the mirror. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Raising Babies 101. Today's letter is P for PMTCT, Prevention of Mother-to-Child Transmission, in this case, HIV. PMTCT is a strategy that is used by the Department of Health to protect babies from infection with HIV that passes from mother to child during childbirth and post-delivery. Joining us to give us more insight about the subject matter is Nowinile Dube, Deputy Director, PMTCT, Gauteng Department of Health. Welcome, Nowinile.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So let's start off, exactly what is perinatal transmission of HIV infection? It looks like a very huge word or sentence.
Kukusuleleka ngengculaza, ne? Go kry-a tshwaetso HIV. E kry-wa ke ngwana from a mother, from me wa gage ha a mo imile, or immediately ha fetsa go mo pepa, or during breastfeeding, or in the infancy period, until up to 5 years.
Okay. And then how likely is it for mama to transmit your HIV?
As soon as I suspect her pregnant, tshwanetse gore a ye clinicing or I test. Hangata bomme ba chemist, they buy the pregnancy test, and then ba ya ko clinicing then they get a confirmation from the clinic test. And then once she discovers pregnant, that mother needs to book for antenatal care. Antenatal care ke clinic ya bomme ba baimana ke re. Yeah, from as early as 12 weeks, which we call the first trimester. At the clinic, they will offer HIV counseling and they will do an HIV test. Once she discovers her HIV positive, our guidelines are so nice that they say each pregnant mother who's HIV positive must initiate antiretroviral treatment immediately. During pregnancy, delivery, and during breastfeeding. If she keeps taking her drugs as she was advised to take them daily at the same time for the rest of her life, the level of the virus will drop. We'll call it viral suppression. So if she starts early enough, the possibility of passing HIV to a child, the chances are very minimal.
Okay, that was quite comprehensive. How do you diagnose your HIV mobane?
Okay, once a baby is born of an HIV positive mother, our guidelines say each and every child who's exposed to HIV, that is a child or HIV positive, must get a birth PCR test. PCR emits polymerase chain reaction test. It tests for the virus DNA itself. It checks ingculasa yona ukuthi ikhona. So at birth, it's not possible to test a child with the normal rapid test that we do, because you're only going to detect masole amme. So the PCR will be done to the baby. So at that point, you can be able to tell if the baby unengculasa or aganayo. And this baby will be put on what we call prophylaxis, preventative therapy, for 6 weeks if the mother has been on antiretroviral treatment for 4 weeks or more. And then after four weeks, after stopping the nevirapine, the baby will get another test. At that time, we check if the child did not get any infection during the first 6 weeks, because the biggest challenge we have is that our mothers mix feed. All right? And then we do another test, and because we advocate for breastfeeding exclusively, meaning you give breast milk and breast milk only, nothing else for the very first 6 months. But that, unfortunately, that doesn't happen.
That's really nice information. Let's cross to studio audience Arona for Putso.
Mina bengifuna ukubuza ukuthi esikhathini esiningi sizwa bathi umntwana unegazi la kababa. Fana nokuthi mhlambe bathi kuyenziwa ama DNA test bese bathi kufune kubaba. So ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi kuyenzeka ukuthi uma ubaba ene HIV nomama enayo bese umama aba pregnant umntwana angabi nayo na.
Okay, unfortunately or fortunately, let me say, if ubaba une HIV, umama kana HIV or banayo boy too, umama is the one who will end up with the baby in her. So if umntwana uthole ingculaza, it's got nothing to do no baba. It's got everything to do nalo mama akhulela kuye. So lo mama who's supposed to take treatment to ensure ukuthi uhamba iclinic yakhe, ta treatment yakhe every day until for life, because khona manje umthetho omusha ngithi uthini. Wonke umuntu, once you find yourself ukuthi HIV positive, we call it universal test and treat. So ngabo mama, it has long started in 2015. So the mother, once she starts treatment, uzoyithatha forever. She must just make sure uyithatha every day so that I reduce ama chance ukuthi angayinikezi ingane. And make sure that you disclose to your child. Once your child start being able to understand things, the child must grow up knowing very well what is wrong with them if they are infected with HIV.
And of course, we can get all the knowledge and support at our local clinics and hospitals.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for coming in and chatting to us about this. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Well, there you have it. It's important to get tested as soon as you find out you are pregnant. And if you do find out you are HIV positive, remember to take your medication and seek help at your local clinic or hospital. For now, it's a short break. Rietla, ka morago ga dipapatso. Welcome back to Raising Babies 101. This is by far my favorite part of the show. Guest Yarona Elatelang is well known to you on this very screen, SABC 2, and you know him from the night soapy Mwango. He's also a presenter and a businessman, but most of all, he's a super dad. Please help me welcome Leslie Musina, our dishy daddy on the couch. So, do you feel, Hore, you live up to the title dishy daddy?
Dishy daddy, I think I do. You know, I'm one of those, millennial daddies. So, yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, now, this episode, Yakajenu, we spoke about a few things. And I want to ask you and how it relates to you specifically. Like a culture, lady ancestors. Do you have any cultural things that you do? Do you have ancestors that you pray to or speak to?
Okay, Carol, I don't. Only ka gore ke goditswe ko lapeng le gore ke basalane. So ntho tse jwalo badimo le ntho tse go fela ke ntho tse le gore next exposed mo go tsone. E seng gore ha ke tshepe gore badimo ba teng mara nna ke a believe gore ba teng badimo. I do believe gore badimo ke bona di guardian angels tsa rona. Just that go tlo ba thata for nna gore ke tlo ruta ngwana ka cause le nna batswadi ba ka a sanga ba nrute ka taba tseo.
How do we work how? Tell us about your children, give us the names and personalities as well.
Yo, okay. Ke na le mora o ile gore o na le o tlo tshwara 4 yeah, well, he's 4 years old. Lebitso la hae ke Rushaka, lebitso leo ke lebitso la Svenda, le gore le tsho gore Schaba o sizwe mara ke tla bolela gore le tsule ka lebitso leo ke rata King Shaka holo so ke ile ka nahana gore ke batla something se le gore se similar empa ka puo ya ka Svenda so ka be ke mo name gore ke ena Lushaka so ntho e tsho gore ke Schaba personality ya hae yo yeah no that boy is full of life ke motho le gore o active ya holo wa tseba like I mean 4-year-old and ke moshimanyana so o active ya holo o na le energy ngata but beyond everything else ke motho le gore he's coming into his own personality. Yeah, he's fun. He's really fun and very intelligent. Very, very intelligent. Marajala hanka bua a gona manual lo go disa bana. A gona manual lo go disa bana ke ntho tse le gore trial and error. Ke first bonyaka so le nna ke ithuta ke mara ke spend nako e ngata holo le ena so ke enjoy go ba le ena. I think le ena sa nkutlisa no. Ha ke le siyo cause ke na lo tsamaya ka mosebetsi o ko etsang. So he's at that age le gore nka phone a press Siri you know o tlo bua le so gona mponela ntho tse jwalo so ba tlhalefile holo so how sheba hape research re bontsha gore ke bana ba ile gore they're going to have fewer siblings and hape they're going to be the most educated in history and the most technologically savvy because they won't have as many siblings so yeah rona ba tswedi re tlo gona gore at least
but I mean it's never too late ka di siblings.
No, it never is. Mara o bolela nnete, what dura go disa bana Carol. Ha ke tsebe bona motswadi mara ha o bonolo go disa bana but o bolela nnete vele like you know it's never too late.
Do you enjoy go bantate?
Haholo. Peleng ne ke tsohile ne ke re I was anxious ne ke nagana gore yo ke tlo gona jwang go disa ngwana empa o itse ha somehow everything just fell into place. And I tell something. Before ke ba le ngwana, ne ke freelancer fela, didn't have a full-time gig, so I was like, yo, how am I gonna do this? Mara in fact, just before everything fell into place.
Wow.
O ka rontsitse like matlhonolo because ke le ka bona bophelo ba ka bo fetoga everything and ka be ke bona gore no o tshore ke modimo yo batlang gore or badimo ha o batla mara ke tsa gore ke modimo o ile gore o na re you know what you need to take care of this boy and this is how you're going to take care of him ke mo ile gore ke le ka thola like full-time roles ke na mo bango I got other gigs on the side as well and it gets a show engwe happen at the same time so ne ke le busy haholo someone ke le busy so ever since I hlaha ke le ka bona gore ile ba le phetho e golo haholo mo philong ba ka.
We also spoke about the gender roles more episode ena and some people believe you know parenting moms are not doing classic mommy roles le bontate are not doing the classic ntate roles how is it for wena?
Yeah, for na jwale ka ke buile gore dintho se di fetohile hona jwale le basadi or bo mme le bona matsatsana ha o sa tshwana le nako tse le tsa gale mo ile gore no thola gore ke ntate fela a sebetsang bo mme le bona you know they're career women ba busy le bona so re fihla mo ile gore we end up having to gore balance dintho interchange the role o tlisa ntho tse like o tshwana le nna ke na le spend nako e ngata haholo ke na le ngwanaka we're not together le mme wa hae empa o tla thola gore maybe in a week o tla spend maybe 3 nights konna and then maybe the other days I spend ko mme wa hae so ke ntho ile gore re fetsa re fihla mo ile gore ra interchange the role tseo because dinako di fetohile le mme wa hae le na o busy haholo le nna ke busy so re fihla mo ile gore tla re thole common ground mo ile gore gona go hlokomela ngwana re modisa bo botle le two le hello ra dule ka ofela
I also know gore for a lot of people ba feel gore the father role in a family ya tlhokagala even if le sa utlwane as batswadi the father role is very important how important is it for wena as ntate to have relationship le bond le ngwana gago and also impart knowledge ya gago for bontate ba shebileng gone who don't really make an effort hona le yone that relationship le bana ba bone
ho bohlokwa haholo ha ka sheba lefatshe la rona Africa Borwa you can see hore hona le a lot of men ba ile hore ba tshwere anger ba kwatile ba bifetswe ka lebaka la hore o tshwaile hore ne go sina ntate bophelong ba motho and ntate o bohlokwa haholo ka hobane mme ka gona raloka like na ke godisitswe ke single mother but ntate wa ka na le teng at the same time ne gona bona ntate wa ka every day ke the very same thing ke letsa ngwana ka le nna gona no so go bohlokwa haholo hore ntate a nne teng cause hona le ntho tse dingwe tse ile gore o ka ruta ngwana hao jwale ka mme empa hona le ntho tse dingwe tse ile gore okay wa gona go mo ruta tsone ke ntho tse ile gore go batla a father figure mo phelong ba hae and a father figure ha se taba fela gore tsentse gore in a biological father or a biological parent e ka nna ba monna mo lo mong o ile gore ka nnete o na le lerato for ngwana o na le nako ya mo ruta ha mo mo ruta because ke bona gore batho ba ngata ba ile ba hloka that's why bona gona le ntho tsa gore banna ba tlekefetse bo mme thola le ba shapa bo mme ba omanya ntho tsena ka ofela leng because ha ba tsebe gore monna o tlame gore a behave jwang o tlisa ke bona bothata ba ile gore a bo bona mo setšhabeng sa rona ba phela ba bua ka taba tsa di gender based violence ntho tse gore kana ra di avoid ha ile gore bana ba shimang bana le role models tsa bontate ba ile gore ba phela maphelo a matle wa tsakeng le kana maybe la lwana because bophelo ha bo simple bophelo ha bonolo o thola ile gore maybe mohlomongwe like ke tla for example kana o thola ile gore maybe nna le mmangwana ha re hantle ngwana o gone di pick up ntho tseo wa gona go censor a bona gore no o ka re gona le so ke ile ka ithuta le nna gore it doesn't matter gore kwatilo fihla ka empa ke ska argue le mmangwana pela ngwanaka because whatever ke etsang o batla etsa like nna gona no ke bona gore ngwanaka o iketsa he's like mini me ntho lengwe ke etsang o batla etsa ha ke re ke aja o batla o ja lena like I could walk into the house gona no a fetsa o ja daddy I haven't eaten can I eat with you daddy or just like into the so he wants to do he wants to emulate me her dads really are superman and ho botlhokwa holo hore jwale ka bontate ha ke fa maele ho bontate ka monantle hore le be careful le hlokomeleng haholo ka bana ntho tse ka fela tse di etsang bana ba lona ba di bona ntho tseno and ba tlo di emulate and ha ba se ba tlo di etsa sometimes ba etsa times 10.
Let's cross over go studio audience rona rena le potso.
Okay, my question is how do you manage time like spending with your family lingwana and from work?
Yeah, ke potso ntle haholo eo ha o bonolo jwale ka ke buile especially mo industry ya rona mo ile hore ke na le bua ngata hore batho ha ba re sheba mo TV ha ba sheba mananeo a re etsang e kana ba di soapy kana ba bo speak out mananeo ana ka ofela ba enjoy so batho bana le mpotsa ngata hore do you ever get time to watch yourself? I hardly do, especially like hale bapala because usually I'm out in the field, I'm shooting around that time. Maybe tlo khutla ka bo midnight mo ntlung or just like so and ka di weekend te hape ke a sebetsa ke na le ntho tse dingwe tse ke di etsang ka di weekend te hape bo di appearances ke MC ke DJ ke ntho tsena ka fela mara ntho ke leng ka ile mo ha ke taba ya hore ke khone o create nako so hona le weekend tse dingwe tse le gore ha ke nki di-gig ha ke nki mesebetsi ke ipolella gore weekend ke tlo spenda le ngwanaka.
Last words of advice for bontate ko hae.
Manzi ya ka bofelo okay ndi do banda yeba nga chivende non maipfi anga opetsela anda nga pa bo khotsi ngeni ndani mafhungori ba ṱhogomela nga mande zwi vha khwalusa vhana ngauri vhana vha dzhia zwiṅwe na zwiṅwe zwine zwa zwivhona vhabebi vha tshi khou zwi ita so kha ri vhone zwo ri vha dzi tsumbo dza vhuḓi ri vha dzi role models dza vhuḓi kha vhana ngauri hezwi noni ari khou vha dzi role models dza vhuḓi zwi amba zwori ri khou fhaṱa lushaka ngauri hezwi u tshi khwaṱhisedza kana hezwi u khou make sure zwori u hulisa lushaka family yao zwavhuḓi u vha khou ita zwori rushaka kana shango na lone libe labudi.
Well said. Thank you so much, Leslie, for coming in, Kajeno. We really, really appreciate your time.
Carol.
Well, this episode was so much fun and filled with so much information. Go social media, just search Raising Babies 101, more Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as more YouTube. Well, I must remind you, for me, Carol Lephotho, until next time, bye-bye. Welcome to Pep Talk, the parent's guide to everything to do with you and raising your babies. Some babies respond to pacifiers while others don't. If yours does, today I'll be giving you a few hacks for using pacifiers. The first trick is to always have more than one pacifier lying around the house, in your bag, and in your car. The next step is finding a place to store them. You can keep them in one of these stylish glass jars in your baby's room to keep them germ-free. Keep pacifiers clean by sterilizing them. If one drops on the floor, rinse it with hot water immediately before giving it back to your baby. Also, remember that discoloration, holes, tears, or weak spots mean it's time for that pacifier to be replaced with a new one. When it comes to pacifiers, don't leave your baby's pacifier loose in your nappy bag. Rather, keep them in one of these little containers to avoid contact with germs. You can also get one of these clips to attach the pacifier to your baby's clothing to make it easily accessible for them. And lastly, sometimes babies will drool a little bit more when sucking on their pacifiers, so always have a bib on your baby to avoid drool accumulating on their clothes. If you want to stand a chance to win some exciting giveaways, get onto our social media pages and enter our weekly competition. It has been great sharing with you, and we hope we've been a helping hand through your parenting journey. From myself, Carol Lephotho, and all of us here at Pep Talk, goodbye.